good, everybody? I wanted to do a reading for you. This is gonna be a timeless reading. It's a little different. Yesterday I was channeling the song. It's called Tom's Diner, right? It's an old song. Very interesting lyrics. Um, like really just a bunch of random stuff. But what I got from it right away was like, watching this life, right? Watching this life almost like it's just a movie, right? Like observing everything like it's just a movie. And like in the song, right? Like nothing really rhymes even, right? It's just like someone saying all these random things, looking at a newspaper, there's an actor dead that they don't even know who they are, the funny pages, like everything, right? So there's a lot in that to unpack, right? It reminded me even like of this movie The Watchmen and the comedian, how he says everything's a big joke. And so obviously the Watchers, if you know, that's what they used to call like the angels, right? The Watchers. I don't think it was just necessarily like the fallen angels, right? Even though I think that's kind of what they called the Watchers as well. But I think it just represents like this life, right? What it really is at the end of everything. And even being able to observe it with that lens, even when you're going through the craziest thing, uh, it won't hit you as hard, right? So maybe you're being asked to do that. And then even after that, yesterday I was getting, I think it was yesterday, or the day before, I was getting these visions of like that, right? Like all the spaceships and everything. So whether right now as we're experiencing this experience, we're probably on a spaceship somewhere, right? Just taking a nap, and all this is happening, right? So but it was like a memory of that, right? Or in real time, seeing all these spaceships, or like I don't know if it was like if I was looking out a window, or just seeing it even from a bigger lens, right? Like from that you know, outside of a body even, and just taking it all in, right? So anyways, hopefully that I didn't lose you all with that one, right? I know this, it just is what it is, but it was funny that that was the first thing, for that song, the you know, I was sitting at the diner and instead I poured some milk or something like that. And then having that visual too, right? So I'm gonna start off, let's see, with the Mystic Martian and see what comes out, right? That this is probably the deck I've used the least, but obviously being that that was called, and maybe some of you are very aware of like your star seed origins, or you know, wow. Ah, interesting. Denial projecting shame. Hmm. Maybe it's like me even sharing this before, like I could share this now and don't have no worries about if anyone would look at me like I'm crazy or anything, right? But I remember when I would have, right? And so sometimes there is that kind of thing, right? Maybe you're still in that. Maybe this is gonna help you break out of your shell, right? If you're like, if you already know you're very tapped in, you have all the visions and all this stuff, and you're very aware of the things of what this life is, then maybe right now you're in the process of that, right? Of doing some shadow work. Denial, projecting shame, right? Depending how you get it, but like project, obviously, if you project shame onto others, is because that's something you're feeling within, right? Or there's something there where at one point you were criticized for something. So maybe then, like the hurt people kind of thing. But let's see what this says, right? That's an interesting card that came out. I wasn't expecting that, right? I was expecting something kind of different, but that makes sense, right? Maybe some of you are on that verge of coming out of your shell and speaking about what you know. All right, so let me read this message real quick. Something's floating around. Our shadow self is a psychological and spiritual perspective regarding the aspects of ourselves that we often either deny, sometimes cannot see, and conceal from public. Every human being and higher being has a shadow self. The problems arise when denial or refusal to see the shadow self takes hold as this causes spiritual fragmentation in the psyche and blocks enlightenment and holistic integration. Shadow selves not acknowledged Shadow selves not acknowledged take on an unaware to semi-aware autopilot type of spirit life of their own, usually resulting in projections when triggered. This is where dark entities subconsciously reside and where archons can steer and manipulate if a person is not conscious. All dark entities are merely abandoned aspects of all life. The shadow self typically emerges during early childhood and progressively manifests if not integrated. The shadow self contains anything that we were taught and judged as a small child to see as inappropriate, wrong, shameful, or bad, or we were punished or rejected for, etc. What we reject in ourselves is rejected back onto us. These conditions may have been passed on to us through our families, our schools, our communities, our culture, etc. The denial of these aspects we do not like or accept in ourselves forces those archetypal aspects of self to be repressed. It wanders, not fully conscious, to the self projecting and overreacting onto others defiantly what they deny in themselves. A basic example of this could be if you angrily overreact towards another who is sincerely sad, it is highly probable you have denied and repressed your own sadness. Facing and owning our shadow self aspects can be challenging, even painfully so initially, and require self awareness, humility, and accountability, while also forgiving ourselves. Shadow work is the true test of self love. True core healing always contains huge elements of shadow work. Card meaning: denial, repressed, fragmented triggers, shame, self loathing, projecting childhood wounds, overreacting, dark nights of the soul, and addictions. So that could be some of the meanings, right? Yeah, so that's interesting about the shadow self. So let me see. I lost my train of thought. I had to step away real quick. Yeah, but hopefully that resonates. Let me know if it does. Let's pull some tarot then. All right, let's see what else wants to come out. So, any other message for the collective? If, you want to clarify on shadow self or the message of the Watchers or Tom's Diner or any of that stuff. I'll put a link to Tom's Diner. So, I'm gonna say it even though usually I say it in my head anyways, right? Or that's always the intention. So I never feel like I need to say it, but regardless, I always want to channel what's for your highest good, right? So that's the messages that we're asking to come through, right? From your spirit guides, the creator, uh, your higher self, and and it may not always be the most comfortable thing, but um, that's what it is, and it's funny, right? Because this card has the third eye, right? And it's in creative intelligence, right? The King of Cups, creative intelligence. So it's someone that's very mature, emotionally mature, stable, very balanced, gives good advice, right? Control over their emotions, has confidence, richness in their knowledge, right? Very rich in knowledge. Like also a good friend. Yeah, so they literally have mastered the emotional realm, right? That's what it says. So maybe that's someone that's gonna come in to help you dealing with your shadow self and really understanding those aspects of this reality, right? Because that's a tough one, right? Like, oh wow. And maybe that's been one of the things, right? I could see how this definitely, right? Like having financial burdens can throw everything out of whack, right? It can throw off your But at the end of the day, none of that stuff really matters. But maybe they're gonna help you learn how to balance that out. Because when that goes wrong in this reality, you could feel like everything's falling apart, right? Since in this reality that we've co-created, everything depends on money, right? See, economic problems, adversity, yeah, feeling like you have bad luck, all this stuff, but that's a perspective thing, right? So maybe someone that has mastered those emotions is gonna come into your life and help you see, maybe that things aren't that bad, right? And there's a lesson in everything. So let me see. And that's the throat chakra, right? Maybe you have to communicate that. Maybe that's gonna take you speaking up, right? To change that around. Okay, so any advice then for the collective? That's funny that, well, it all started with shadow self, and that's kind of part of the shadow, right? Feeling like if your finances are out of whack, then that you don't have enough. But see, here's another third eye. Now it's a see King of Cups. Now it's a Queen of Pentacles, right? Abundance. So maybe once you change that mindset, you'll see how abundant you already are, or the abundance will come in. Maybe you're also gonna run into that, right? Like when the student's ready, the teacher will appear, right? All of a sudden, boom, there's a King of Cups. There's a Queen of Pentacles. Look at capable woman, woman like a protector, right? Someone that's gonna have that protective energy over you, like generous, right? Fertile, and maybe fertile with ideas, or just the way that they carry themselves, right? Like always, like fertile. You think of like when the ground is fertile and you plant it right, and you take care of it, it gives abundance, right? So it's kind of like that, like someone that just they're always abundant because they remain in that state, right? Now, hopefully that's making sense, right? But that's probably gonna be someone you could learn from. So I think right now is gonna be a time of a lot of learning, right? Not attacking, but like going deep into that shadow self, really understanding why you've been having a lack mindset, right? That Scorpio full moon was very heavy. There was a lot of things that I believe had to come up to the surface, and it was for, it was an overall collective energy. So let's see. I don't know if that was really advice. I think it's just more saying like that's kind of what's coming your way, right? Any other message for the collective? Let's see. No, okay. Let me use this deck, and then I think we could end it with that. Because for some reason today I pulled out both of these tarot decks, right? Sometimes I'll use either. Sometimes I'll use either or of these decks, but you know. Okay, let's see. Any message for the collective? Any final message? Ah, look at temperance and justice. Look at balance, making a decision, legal contract, responsibility, agreement, cause and effect. So I think all this, right? Once you change your mindset, or justice has always been. I think things will be just. Maybe you felt like things haven't been just, right? But I think everything will be good. And look at alchemy, right? Maybe someone's gonna teach you that, right? Alchemy, balance, healing, transformation, patience, options, moderation. I mean, I don't know that about this person's face. It's very interesting. Well, it almost looks like someone that's been through a lot of stuff, so they've learned patience, they've learned healing, and they've learned balance through all the scars, right? Even alchemy, right? It almost feels that like when it's all said and done, this will be you, right? Like you'll come out in that way and you'll get it. Okay, any other message? What in the world just happened? Okay. Let's see. Any last message for the collective? Either the cards are wanting to talk or I'm fumbling these cards everywhere. Look, there was already a card that was flipped over. But because oh man, these cards are all out of whack now. I don't know, maybe I could end it there, I guess. I think that the message was pretty clear, right? I think you'll be coming across somebody. Just keep an eye out for that, right? You'll be coming across someone. Or maybe even this, right? Like watching this message is probably giving you the confirmation you need, or you know, maybe that message of just me telling you that about learning how to control your emotions is gonna help. I don't know, right? But regardless, you're getting a message. Man, these cards are all over the place. Look at Eight of Cups. See, and it almost reminds me of like how in this case, because I don't always see the Temperance card like that, like someone that learned through all the scars. And here again, right? Someone that's all stitched up, Eight of Cups, walking away, desire for more, letting go, traveling, withdrawal, abandonment, right? It almost feels like there was something you had to walk away from. And once you do, it's like things just coming quick, right? Chariot, destiny, journey, overcoming obstacles, willpower, same direction, drive. And meeting those that are on the same path, right? Like your soul tribe and all that good stuff. So I don't know. I feel like there's more messages that want to come out because the cards just, I think again, right? It kind of feels like the same. Wow, all these cards came out here. Let me shuffle one more time. Wow, I'm either being clumsy or these cards are just like, that's crazy today. I don't even know. Oh, I'm either being clumsy or this stuff is just coming out like crazy. Talk or you want to talk? Okay. Well, I'll just end it with this sacred oracle, sacred forest oracle, and then that'll be it. Because I don't know. Obviously, these cards, they can go a little deeper into things. So, all right. One final message for the collective. Man, I suddenly got like my eyes are just closing. Magic. Wow. 25. Magic. The wolf. Moonlight enchantment. Okay. 25. Yeah, I suddenly got all like, I don't know, sleepy and stuff. That was weird. Moonlight enchantment magic. The lingering howl of a wolf weaves its way through the night air. The brightness of the full moon bathes the entire forest with a silvery light. Fairies and elves and spirits of fauna and flora arise for a joyous night of celebration. The forest is alight with glee. Magic is all around you. The veil between the worlds is thin right now. Fairies, elves, angels, and spirit beings are just a thought away. It is indeed a magical universe, and the key to opening the doors to those realms is to trust. All may not be as it seems. By the protective light of the moon, the magic of the universe surrounds you. Even though it is dark, the light of the moon shows you the way, reminding you to trust what you feel. You are safe. Even if you can't see, have faith that you are being supported in mysterious and wondrous ways by unseen beings in accordance with your highest good. The spirit of moonlight enchantment says, believe in magic. You are being given powerful. mystical messages from spirit. Take time to listen. Allow the luminescent receptive energy of the moon to activate your creativity. You receive mystical messages and you are a spiritual messenger for others, right? Wow, that's beautiful. So maybe that's what it is, right? You need to step into your, well, it's a choice, right? Obviously. And that's, I think, kind of the message I started from the beginning, right? Like about working on your shadow self and, not being ashamed of what you know or what you see or who you are, right? So on that note, I'll end it. I felt a little all over the place at the end because the cards just kept flying out, but I guess maybe they wanted to talk and it's just too many cards. So okay, on that note, I'll end it. Let me know if it resonated and all that good stuff. All right, peace.